Alright people, what's going on? Space Cowboy here. Welcome back to the channel. Got another video for you guys today. Before we get started with today's video, please make sure to drop a like down below. It's been helping the channel out a lot, so please make sure to continue to do so. Also, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to get more Dallas Cowboys content from yours truly now and in the future. And finally, hit the notification bell to be notified when I go live or post new content. So, I wanted to extend the discussion of did the Cowboys make a mistake in doing insert action here, and this is going to be with Byron Jones. Now, as we know, Byron Jones left to go to the Miami Dolphins to become the highest paid cornerback in NFL history as of this moment. Now, I don't blame him for that, but a lot of people were, having mixed responses of whether or not the Cowboys should have kept him or not. Some people said, no, you should have kept him. You shouldn't have paid certain players this, that, and the third. And some other people said, no, you can let him go because he hasn't earned that money because he hasn't done a lot more as a corner. So there's a ton of, arguments in this entire discussion. So to first start off, I want to be explicitly clear. Byron Jones is not a garbage cornerback. A lot of people I've seen that have said that we didn't make a mistake and letting him walk have said, oh, well, Byron's not good because he doesn't get interceptions. Listen, cornerbacks getting interceptions is cool, but again, they have more things to do, right? And it's like when I had that discussion with, talking about did the Cowboys make a mistake with paying DeMarcus Lawrence. A defensive end does a hell of a lot more than get cornerback sacks and stuff like that. It's just like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, again, you got to realize that every position has its own, goals and what they're doing and roles and stuff like that. So there's that. Now, do I think the Cowboys made a mistake, overall in letting Byron walk? No, not necessarily. So I want to first start off by looking at the NFL salary rankings, right? So Stephon Gilmore has the highest cap hit from a corner with the, he's with the New England Patriots, $18.6 million. You have Byron Jones right behind him at 17.6, Marcus Peters with 15, Richard Sherman with 13.9, Jalen Ramsey with 13.7, and AJ Bouye with 13.4. So when you look at this entire situation, the whole Byron Jones, letting him walk and letting him stay, it becomes a bit murky as time goes on. Why? Because it really comes down to which party does better. Because if the Cowboys can get just as good efficiency out of the cornerbacks they selected in this draft as well as the ones they have now, no one's going to care what Byron does down the line. However, if the Cowboys don't do well, but Byron, flourishes in a new scheme that he could fit in, I mean, and who knows, it could be a win-win for both sides. That's the most important part, is that there really is no clear distinct winner in this because it really comes down to how each scheme looks, how they, all the players do, and it's a whole mess. However, I will say this. When you're asking me, Space, would you pay a guy like Byron Jones top-level cornerback money? Now, for me, I would say no, because cornerback is a position that's kind of similar to the running back position. I think that unless you have an elite player at that position group, you shouldn't pay someone that much money. Now, people might say I'm being hypocritical because they say, oh, well, you want to pay Dak this much money, you want to pay Amari this. No, hear me out. When it comes to the cornerback position, right, there are only a handful of guys that are worth paying that much money. You got guys like the Darrelle Revises, the Stephon Gilmores. There are only a handful of cornerbacks in this league that have the ability to make the argument, yes, I deserve $18 to $20 million because I do all facets of what a cornerback should do, right? Now, some people will say I'm being hypocritical and saying, well, you say this about Byron, but you look at Zeke, you look at Amari, you look at DeMarcus Lawrence, you're saying they deserve that money, but why not Byron? Now, going through each of those positions, again, each position does different things, right? For me, if I'm a general manager and I'm going to pay a player elite level money, they have to check off a couple boxes for me, and each position has different criteria for me. With running back, I think with running back, this is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott has had elite level production as a running back since he stepped into the league. I don't have to even go into anything crazy. So, yeah, he deserves his money. You look at Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper has been an elite level receiver when he's been in the league and when he's been healthy. And, yeah, when you look at the numbers, he is definitely a top 5, top 10 receiver. Yeah, I want him on my team. You look at DeMarcus Lawrence. You look at DeMarcus Lawrence and what he does, right? his primary job is not to get sacks, and people will try to make this argument where they'll be like, well, you say that about DeMarcus Lawrence, but the primary job of a cornerback is not to get interceptions, which I'll get into momentarily. But when you look at DeMarcus Lawrence, he's top 5 at his position with what he's supposed to do: stop the run, get some tackles for loss, all that stuff. He's been able to do that. When you go to Byron, right? What is Byron's job? Byron's job is to cover a side of the field, or cover, the field, and make sure that no one gets any completions. And also, this is key, getting turnovers. Yeah, cornerbacks actually have to get turnovers, and that's a huge thing. And we could sit here, and again, in Dallas, we know we all know with Chris Richard and how the Cowboys have had an issue with generating turnovers. However, let's keep this in mind. It's a part of Byron's repertoire to get turnovers. He hasn't been able to do that. That doesn't mean he's a bad cornerback. But for me, if you want to justify me paying him that much money, he needs to get some turnovers, whether that mean the forced fumbles or the interceptions or this, that, and the third. Okay? Because I look at the statistics, and you're going off of a basis between 2017 to 2019, and I'm comparing him to guys such as Marcus Peters, Stephon Gilmore, Jalen Ramsey, AJ Bouye, Richard Sherman, and also Byron in this mix. For context, the reason why I chose 2017 to start this comparison was because that's when Stephon Gilmore got top-level money from the New England Patriots. So that's why I decided to go with 2017, and that's going up till now. So those are the statistics I'm going to be looking at. And he's played the most games out of all of them, so he's a dependable guy that can be on the field. That's cool, right? That's what I want, number one. Number two, he's getting he's getting tackles, and he's being able to get guys down in the open field when he's been able to get the chance, right? He has 150 tackles. That's right behind Jalen Ramsey at 158. Assisted tackles. He has 45 assisted tackles. That's really damn good. He has 6 tackles for losses. That's right there with Richard Sherman, who also has 6. Forced fumbles. He actually has 2. I'm not sure if you knew that. And you look at all this other stuff, the interceptions then really are telling, because guess what? He only has 1 in this entire time frame. Now, I decided that, when you looked at those numbers from 2017 to 2019, because guess what? Stephon Gilmore got top-level money in 2017 from the New England Patriots. And when you look at what his numbers, that's what I want in a top-level cornerback. I want them being able to be dependable, get some tackles, which, basically stop people in the open field, and get turnovers. He's been able to do all of those. He's definitely worth that money. And that's not crazy to say. It's not crazy to say that, yeah, you could pay a cornerback $20 million, because guess what? You can, but the odds of you getting a cornerback that has that type of level are pretty rare. And if you do have that chance to get that guy, keep him. But Byron Jones is not that. And I know some people will disagree with me, which I want to see, but I'm sorry. I'm not paying Byron Jones top-level money when I can go into the draft and get 2 or 3 guys to do exactly what he's been able to do. Okay? And again, we don't know how things are going to pan out in the end, because guess what? We just don't know how Byron's going to look in Miami. We don't know how these cornerbacks in Dallas are going to look under the new scheme. We don't know. But ultimately, don't feel bad that Byron walked, because guess what? Someone was going to be the odd man out, and unfortunately it was Byron that was the odd man out. And yes, I understand that you want to keep as many good players on your team, but considering that this virus is going to drop the salary cap and we still haven't paid Dak yet, I think that the Cowboys are going to really have, I think that the Cowboys, letting him walk was decent, because now we don't have to worry about a salary cap issue going into 2021, because of the projected salary cap drop. So, I think I've gone on for long enough. I want to hear what you guys have to say about Byron Jones, and do you think the Cowboys made a mistake in letting him go, this, that, and the third? Feel free to put that in the comment section below, and I'll be seeing you guys later. Peace out, guys. Bye-bye.